Hey, mama. So we hear a lot about the importance of podcast SEO and doing keyword research. But how do you actually do keyword research? How do you know what keywords to use? Well, that's what I'm answering today. Specifically, I'm walking you through my simple process for doing podcast keyword research. This is the same process that I use and teach you inside of Podcast with Strategy. All right, let's jump into today's episode. Hey, mama. Welcome to Marketing Without Socials for Moms, the go-to podcast for moms in business who want to stop relying on social media to build their business and build it in a way that fits their current season of life. I'm your host, Andria Singletary, a wife, mama of two, and visibility strategist for moms. Each week, I'm giving you the inside scoop on how to increase your visibility, leads, and sales through podcasting, email marketing, and collaborations. Ready to truly make social media optional in your business? Grab your chai tea latte and let's dive into today's episode. Okay, so before we actually get into how to do keyword research, I want to break down why podcast SEO matters, because I feel like SEO is just one of these things that sometimes people think okay, that's too complicated. I'm not fooling with that. But podcast SEO is one of the key ways you can grow your podcast audience with the right listeners. So when you use, the right keywords, using the language that your ideal person is actually searching, they're going to find your podcast. So people can discover your content in both the podcast listening apps, so like Apple and Spotify, as well as through Google. And with Google, on top of your podcast just showing up, if you house your show notes on your website and you implement, SEO and keywords, your show notes can actually rank on Google. I've had this happen with several of my episodes, show notes, in which they were ranking on the first page of Google for certain keywords. And so those are the type of listeners you want, the listeners who are actively searching for a solution, because it means that one, their problem is a big problem that they want to solve right now. And two, they are looking for a solution. They're looking for support. And so you want to make sure that your podcast is coming up for those keywords that they're searching so they can get your support. Now, as a business owner with a podcast, you want the right listeners finding your podcast. You want to make sure if they are searching key terms related to your niche, they find your podcast. So to give you an example, for my podcast, my main keyword phrase that I want to rank for is marketing without social media, because that is what my people are searching. They want to learn how to market their business without social media. And so that's what I want to make sure I'm ranking for. And I actually recently just checked. I did a search in Apple Podcasts, and I searched the keyword phrase marketing without social media, and my podcast came up as one of the top podcasts. So that is what you want for your niche, your keywords. You want to be coming up when people are searching those words. So how do we actually do keyword research for our podcast content? So again, I'm walking you through my process. So first, I'm going to walk you through how I decide on what keywords I want to use. So typically my process for keyword research is included with my content planning process. So I plan my content out a month in advance. And so as I'm deciding on, what topics I'm going to speak about on the podcast, I do that keyword research right then and there. So how I decide on the topics, I actually pull them directly from my content bank. And then I have content pillars that I make sure that I do an episode that falls within each of those content pillars. So once I know what my topic ideas are, I want to figure out what words my ideal clients are using and what questions they are asking as related to those topics. So I gather these words from market research, and I do that market research primarily through threads and Facebook groups, conversations with current or former clients, conversations with potential clients, questions I'm asked from the mamas in my community, and then feedback forms. So any client that works with me, I send them a feedback form, and there's specific questions that I ask that really just helps me to capture the language that they use to describe what their problem was before working with me, what transformations or results that they achieve working with me, like all of that. Now, with this market research, I don't have to do it all the time just because as I'm adding new topics to my podcast content bank, it's usually I'm pulling it from market research that was done. So like if I'm scrolling threads and I see somebody post something that's related to like something I support clients with, I make note of that to see like what language they use, what specific question they ask. And it's the same thing like if I'm scrolling in Facebook groups or scrolling on Facebook and I see a post of somebody asking a question related to, again, something that I have the solution to. So I'm always kind of actively doing this market research just anytime I'm on socials, anytime I'm having conversations with like clients, like I'm actively doing and actively adding to that content bank. So I wanted to put that in there or make note of that I'm not like always doing the market research when I'm in the planning stage of mapping out my content. It's usually something that I just do actively throughout the month, and it's become such a habit. So yeah, I just wanted to make note of that. But to do the actual keyword research, so like I said, the first part is really capturing that language that my ideal clients are using. To do the keyword research to kind of see, okay, the market research I did, the language my ideal clients are using, can I actually rank for these keywords on Google? So to do that keyword research, it's called keysearch.co. Now I have linked my affiliate link below in the episode description and in the show notes if you want to check it out. I've used keywords everywhere. I've used, I think it's called Uber Suggest and a few others, and keysearch.co has by far been my favorite. I feel like the level of information they provide as far as like the competition, suggested keywords, all of that, like it's been amazing. And I've noticed a difference since I've switched over from keywords everywhere over to keysearch.co. I've noticed that I'm ranking more for certain keywords on Google. Like I'm seeing better results. So I absolutely love them. And I don't use all of the features, but it was fairly easy to kind of figure out and all of that. But essentially what my process is, I search for keyword phrases over single keywords. I never recommend trying to rank for a single keyword. So like trying to rank for the word podcast, I will never be able to do that. There are too many big names in the game in the podcasting space that are already ranking for that. Plus, when you think about like keyword research, you want to rank for something specific. So I know my ideal person is not just typing the word podcast. They are typing specific questions related to podcasting. And so I want to rank for those words that they're actually searching, like those phrases. So this is why you want to try to rank for keyword phrases over single words. So I look to see, if the keyword phrase that I want to try to rank for, I look to see if, what the competition is. So if there's like little to no competition, or if there's like slight competition, I will like go ahead and utilize those keywords. So I look at that. And then I also look at the search volume to kind of see like how many searches it's getting per month. Now, this isn't a deal breaker. So even if it's on the lower end, if it's a keyword phrase that I've seen my ideal client use, then I'm going to rank for it, even if it's the search volume, meaning like the number of people who are searching those keywords is very low. And the reason why is that, again, I know my ideal person is searching it. And so I want them to find this content. I don't care about everybody else. Like, I only care about the right people finding it. So I want to make sure I'm focusing on ranking for keywords that they are actually searching. So the other thing that I really like about Key Search is that it gives you suggested keywords. And so this is really good for when, like, say the keyword you initially search for, it has a really high competition. And so it gives you secondary keywords that you can try to rank for instead, or, other phrasing of like the keywords, like other options for it and everything. And so that's been really helpful too in the event that, the keywords that I do want to try to rank for, they're just, it's too much competition. Like, I'm not going to be able to rank for it. So that's kind of essentially the process for it. Okay, so that is it for this whole process for doing keyword research. I will say this, like, if you're new to like SEO and doing keyword research, with time, you will be able to get a streamlined process going. I would say the biggest thing is just start playing around with keywords, like doing the search and everything. So like I said, I highly recommend keysearch.co, but if you're not ready to invest in a keyword research tool, you can use something like Ubersuggest. But one, making sure you're capturing the language that your ideal person is using, and then going and like just searching in a keyword research tool to kind of see, okay, what is the competition for this? Is this something I can realistically rank for and everything? Now, when you join my podcast with strategy, coaching, and consulting, I teach you how to do all of this. I teach you how to leverage podcast SEO, including how to do keyword research for your podcast episodes, where to incorporate those keywords to increase your searchability and discoverability. So to learn more about Podcast with Strategy, head on over to mamaturnmompreneur.com, Podcast with Strategy. This is linked below in the episode description and in the show notes. All right, Mama, I'll catch you in the next episode. Hey, Mama. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang with me. I would love to keep the conversation going. So head to mamaturnmompreneur.com/marketing without socials to join my email community. I share even more tips and strategies for building a business that doesn't rely on social media and one that fits your current season of life, as well as more behind the scenes of mom and business life. All right, Mama, that's it for today, but I'll catch up with you again next week.